Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Perspective Reform. As usual, I'm your host, Agility Kesa. Let's dive right into the story that's causing quite some excitement in the Kenyan political circles. The story is Raila Odinga and the chairmanship of the AU Commission. Raila Odinga has signaled his intention to throw his hat into the ring for the prestigious position of African Union Commission chairman. Mr. Odinga's announcement of this interest in leading the African Union Commission has stirred up quite a buzz, pleasing both supporters and opponents in equal measure. But the excitement here is for different reasons, depending on where you stand politically in Kenya. In a press conference that took place recently in Nairobi, Mr. Odinga confidently announced his candidacy for the AU Commission chairmanship, standing alongside the former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo. Apparently, his stint as the AU High Representative for Infrastructure gave him a front row seat onto Africa's greatest hit. Serving as the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure gave me the advantage of learning about each African country. I believe by working together, we can emancipate Africa. And of course, Obasanjo was there to endorse the whole thing, claiming it is high time someone from East Africa took the reins at the AU Commission. He said, "We believe people who have held positions of head of state, head of government, as prime minister or president, will be the right people at this particular time to hold the AUC position." Basically, it's an endorsement. It's an endorsement for Mr. Odinga. According to Mr. Obasanjo, what the AU needs is someone with experience, somebody who gets the situation, and most importantly, someone from a background that can make a difference. This is where things get a little bit more interesting. Although not officially, Raila Odinga seems to be getting a thumbs up from the President William Ruto on clinching the top African Union Commission position. Leading the charge was none other than the one and only Kimani Ichung'wah with this quote recently. He said, "Whenever any Kenyan is nominated for a position anywhere in the world, we as Kenyans are obligated to support him. He is not going there as ODM leader, but as a Kenyan, and we support him in his bid." At a public meeting in Siaya recently, our Prime Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Musalia Mudavadi, also dropped some hints of Kenya's government throwing its weight behind Mr. Odinga's bid for the AUC. Now, it is highly unlikely that Mr. Mudavadi or Mr. Ichung'wah are talking about this, spills the beans without Ruto's stamp of approval, because they cannot say this unless Ruto says, yes, it's okay to do that. Now, the Kenya Kwanza notables are showering Mr. Odinga with accolades here, dubbing him a well-deserving national and a better candidate for the job. Question is, what's in it for them? And what's in it for Mr. Ruto, you ask? Well, the implications are quite obvious here, because for Mr. Ruto, this would be a breather from the perpetual agitation of a formidable gadfly, Mr. Odinga, who has been a thorn in his side ever since he became president a couple years ago. Ship Mr. Odinga off to Addis Ababa, and no more mandamanos in here in Kenya, no matter how high the price of unga goes. Some peace of mind for Mr. Ruto eventually. Now, Dr. Ruto emerges as the main beneficiary of this move, seizing the chance to silence his vocal opponent and possibly secure a smoother 2027 re-election bid. Because with Mr. Odinga out of the picture, there's pretty much no opposition in Kenya. That's exactly how things stand. And on the flip side, though, this might also be seen as a soft landing spot for Mr. Raila Odinga, a seasoned opposition leader transitioning away from active Kenyan politics to a position that could be a crowning achievement for his devoted supporters. Unlike the Odinga-Kenyatta handshake of the post-2017 election, this is not a political partnership. It is more of a convergence of interest between Mr. Raila Odinga and Dr. William Ruto. It's a convergence of interest where both of them get something out of the deal. However, though, Mr. Raila Odinga downplayed any talk of a deal with Dr. Ruto to help him secure this prestigious seat. But, let's face it, in order for Raila to make a mark on the AU stage, he needs the solid official support from the Kenyan government. And to fulfill this next ambition, Raila must pay a hefty price, a public endorsement and recognition of Dr. Ruto's presidency to begin with, and then dropping all court cases against the government and accepting other conditions like supporting the current administration's policies. In essence, it would be a handshake with Dr. Ruto, which could spell the opposition's demise in Kenya. Now, whether or not there's a direct deal between Raila and Ruto on this, there's obviously some behind-the-scenes maneuvering that's taking place, probably facilitated by the ever-so-present Mr. Obasanjo. Remember, this is not the first time that Mr. Obasanjo has played a peacemaker between Dr. Ruto and Mr. Raila Odinga. The big question, though, is: does this signal Mr. Raila's retirement from local politics? Could this, in essence, be Ruto's way of sending a Raila to Bondo, as they say? Only this time, it is not really Bondo, but it is Addis Ababa and not Bondo, as he proclaimed time and again during the 2022 campaigns. By throwing his hat into the AU race, might Raila be waving goodbye to the race for the sixth presidential bid of Kenya in 2027? Now, Mr. Raila in this case is playing coy, saying he could always come back. But realistically, running the AU secretariat is not a part-time gig, but you can abandon anytime something more exciting comes along. So once he goes to the AU, I think Raila is gone. Now, Raila, on the other hand, was quick to clarify that he views this as a sabbatical, asserting his commitment and willingness to return to the local political scene if necessary. Despite this, let's not forget the political dynamics involved. Raila, a force in Kenyan politics for decades, has significant influence in Kenyan politics. His exit from Kenyan politics has potential to leave a huge leadership vacuum without a clear successor. Now, the prospect of Mr. Raila Odinga's AU chairmanship has raised questions about his role in local politics, especially in Luo Nyanza and the ODM party. The swift endorsement from Raila's party secretary general, Agency Funam, and Azimio coalition core principals, Kalonzo Musyoka, set the stage for this new political dynamic, especially in the opposition. Now, in the meantime, though, Mr. Odinga has assured Kenya that ODM and Azimio had competent leaders ready to step up to the plate in his absence. He emphasized the availability of competent leaders within the movement, within the ODM movement, and stressed the need for a flexible approach to evolving political landscape. And this also paves way for a new generation of leaders in the opposition, with the names like Hassan Joho, Wycliffe Oparanya, Edwin Sifuna, and others are waiting in the wings to step in just in case Mr. Raila steps off the stage. Now, historically, political exiles to Addis Ababa, like the likes of Jean Ping of Gabon and Zuma of South Africa, did not dim their political ambitions in their home countries back home by accepting this position. Now, Raila Odinga's unexpected pursuit of the AU Commission chairmanship may just be a strategic move to leverage his experience in preparation for 2027. You never know. A sly one, this Mr. Odinga is. You never know. As we navigate these complexities of regional politics and potential challenges, only time will reveal whether this endeavor is truly a sabbatical or a calculated political masterstroke by Mr. Odinga. One thing is for sure, though. Raila Odinga remains a dynamic force in African politics, and his next chapter promises to be an intriguing one. We just have to sit back, watch, and see how this thing plays out. And with that, this has been Perspective 254. Again, my name is Agility Kesa. See you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, and cheers.